Greetings and welcome to St. Augustine, Florida, where the 4-0, number 2 ranked Rollins Tars visit the 3-2 Flagler College Saints. Rollins comes in averaging over 15 goals per game. They are coached by Chris Lewis. Flagler is led by Brian Duncan. Out there at the face-off spot for the Tars is number 1, Lake Baker. And for Flagler College, Matt Matrega. Rollins comes up with it, working his way back to the goaltender. That's the All-American, Shahei Kachadurian. Long over-the-top pass into the offensive end come the Tars. Opportunity for Flagler, and they do come up with it. Lots of speed. Nice redirect to the other side, and Flagler decides to pump the brakes. Tobias and Douglas. Out of the box comes Moore. Tobias is going to set up the offense, and freshman from Winter Park, Griffin Moore, heads over to Douglas. Around Makusis. Back to Kroll. And Tobias over to Griffin Moore. Got a little room. Early help comes. Back to Douglas. 20 on the shot clock. McDonald tried to force it. Flagler comes back up with it, but under 10 seconds on the shot clock. He's got a little bit of room. Feeds to the front. Shot. Bounces it over the cage. They got a great look with about 3 seconds. Coach is calling for a reset, saying it hit the goalie, but there's only 3 seconds. See if they try to get it to the crease or just ice it to the corner, which they do. And Flagler had the opportunity to get their defensive specialists on the field. They got a pretty good first look on that feed to the crease in the short time on the shot clock. Rollins sets up their clear. McDonald got a stick on it, but it bounces out of bounds. Into the offensive end comes Myers. Armitage. Back to Berkman. Coming around. Shot. It's wide. Got a flag down, so it's going to be an extra man opportunity for Rollins. So it's a 1-minute slashing penalty, so extra man for the Tars. Johnstone over to Hansen. Around the formation to Myers. Back to Armitage. Right in front, shot and a score. Goal by Jack Johnstone early in the man up. Rapid ball movement. Johnstone popped to the crease, uncovered, turned, and found the back of the net. And Rollins takes an early 1-0 lead on that extra man opportunity. Matrega versus Baker back out there for the faceoff. First one was won by Baker. Now he pushes it forward once again. Lake Baker into the offensive end. The triple team comes, does a nice job of getting rid of it to Berkman. He's explosive, pushing that left goal line extended. Inside roll, shot, score. So threatening coming around the top side, but he does the inside move, sticks it in the back of the net, and they're going to have to send some help. I don't know if one man can cover Mikey Berkman alone. Did a good job on the defense protecting the top side, but Berkman's so big and powerful, and he leaned in and improved his angle when he rolled to the outside and found the back of the net. With 11:49 to go, Rollins is up 2-0. That's an early move on Rollins, so Flagler's going to come up with the ball. Bateman gives it off to number 60, Tyler Douglas. Back to McDonald. Ryan Berkman. There's Tobias. Got the short stick defensive mid. Pushing way out. It's a little space. And now we've got a break out of the midfield line. That's Griffin Moore. Back to McDonald. Pushing that backside. Well defended by Rollins. Flagler had the break off the midfield line from Griffin Moore, but just great hustle by the Tars. There's a shot, and it's deflected. The defender ate it. Kachadurian bounces it across and over the midfield line. Successful clear by Rollins. Matson out there. Matson's going to have a run. Big, strong midfielder. Runs by two players. Shot saved by Lair. And he covers it up. They've got a midfielder. That's Garrett Moore. Oh, and he can't reel it in. Now here's an odd man rush. They've got three. And from the restraining line, finds the back of the net, Mikey Berkman. So Moore just was unable to reel that one in at the midfield line. And we have a timeout. Flagler calls that timeout. 3-0 is our score with 9:53 remaining in the first quarter. So following the timeout to try to settle down a little bit as Rollins is playing up-tempo, 3 quick goals, lots of possession. Out there for the face-off is John Adams Dowdy. Lake Baker taking the draw for Rollins. Emotions are high on both sidelines. Don't think that Flagler bench appreciated the Rollins player. A little bit of taunting after that goal right in front of the bench. Just high spirits on both sides. Referees just talked to both coaches, try to make sure the intensity doesn't spill over into unsportsmanlike. And that's a face-off win for Flagler. Coming up with the ground ball is Ryan Berkman. And Flagler boots it out of bounds, so they are unable to take advantage of that face-off win, and the dangerous Rollins offense sets up for their clear. Kachadurian surveys the field. Over to Giacobbe. Back to White. White's ready to dodge on the long pole. Down the right alley. Gets the switch off. Over to Hansen. Hansen's got a little room. Trying to set up the trail check. Outruns it. Comes around the front. Threw a little stick fake, but the ball did come loose. Back check. Puts the ball on the ground, and Flagler College comes up with it. That's Paxton Kroll. Kroll with a head of steam. Runs up to the midfield line. Tap dances across it. Tried to get rid of it. And now the ball is loose. It's going to be Flagler ball right here in front of the substitution area. Reset the shot clock. Get the reset of the shot clock, and Griffin Moore. Over to Tobias. There's McDonald. Berkman. And there's McDonald trying to work off that screen. Tries to find Douglas. The checks are just coming hot and heavy. Tobias does a nice job. No hurry. There's plenty of time on the shot clock. Tobias powers through, shot, and that's about the third shot that the defense absorbed before it got to the goalie. McDonald with a shot and a save. Kachadurian came into the game with a 67% save percentage through 4 games. 6.4 goals against average. He is a wall back there. Hansen controls and overthrows behind the cage. Johnstone was unable to haul it in, and Flagler gets the possession. Nice handle in traffic. Back over to Douglas. To Griffin Moore. He's got help coming out of the substitution area. That's D'Ambrosi. D'Ambrosi. Trace McDonald. They're shutting off Griffin Moore. McDonald to Moore. They got him the ball despite the attempted shutoff. Spins back, loses his footing. Gets back up, and ball is loose. That Rollins defense is aggressive. They swarm those ground balls. So Flagler struggling to get anything going on offense. Douglas with a nice grab. Works it back to Lair. Gruchol. Long over the top. Risky pass, but he connects. Working the long passes are the Flagler Saints. Got to find the back of the net, try to get a little confidence on offense. There's a shot, and it's a goal. Right on cue, number 26 for Flagler, Luke Burton with the left-handed finish, came around that goal line extended and just snuck it past Kachadurian. So Flagler is on the board with 6:21 to go in the opening quarter. Rollins leads 3-1. Dowdy out there for Flagler. Lake Baker for Rollins. joined by Bateman and Kersey on the wings. Took a defensive posture, but Baker comes up with it once again, tilting the field off the faceoffs. White is joined by Armitage. And there's Myers. Overplaying that right hand. He does get back to the right. Running downhill. Well defended. Here comes Hansen. Trying to free up that left hand. Throws back down. Ball is loose. Letting him play. Some good contact. Jack Johnstone runs through that ground ball. Works it back to Berkman. Berkman to the crease. He had a man. Brendan Watson comes up with the ground ball. Back to Lair. So a good defensive stand. Berkman had Armitage on the crease, just couldn't connect. Now we have a flag down, so it's going to be a time-serving penalty. Flagler with the ball. Free possession. 5 minutes in the quarter. McDonald. Back to Ryan Berkman. D'Ambrosi bounces it back up top. .20 on the shot clock. McDonald running downhill. Found Moore in the middle. Took a nice hard check. Maintained possession. Gets to the inside. Shot and a save. So it'll be an extra man opportunity for Flagler, trailing 3-1. Trying to survive that early onslaught from Rollins. So it's a 30-second interference call. Saw Coach Brian Duncan call that timeout earlier, try to settle his team down. They've had a little more possession on offense, and this 30-second extra man will give the team a little bit of time to settle in. McDonald over to Reynolds. Around the horn, Tobias setting up at the high point. Back to McDonald. Backdoor sneak, shot, score! Goal by Antonis Makuzis on the man up. Caught him on a cross crease backdoor sneak, and Makuzis with the leaner. It's 3-2. Rollins on top of Flagler. Matt Matriga back out there for Flagler. Flagler's been struggling at the faceoff spot between Dowdy and Matriga. Baker's had easy work of it. Nice job by Flagler to prevent the fast break. And they immediately take it away as Bateman comes up with it. Headmans it. It's a slow break. No numbers. Well defended as Douglas flips it to Tobias, joined by Griffin Moore coming out of the substitution area. So the longer that Flagler holds on, the more the confidence builds. Those 3 early goals from Rollins, but Flagler's withstood that early onslaught. And here comes Griffin Moore, 3:13 in the quarter, 45 on the shot clock, isolating on the invert. Pushing that right goal line, bounces it up, shot, score! Tied it up, number 26, Luke Burton on the assist from Griffin Moore. Playing fast, playing determined, not a great angle on that shot, but perfectly placed. The worm burner gets past Kachadurian, and we're tied at 3. So Griffin Moore on the invert got the defense spinning a little bit and just enough space for Burton. Slide that right past the goalie. Another face-off win. Heavy pressure as they work it back. Back to Kachadurian. Tessler. Flagler's got 4 people back, but Rollins threw it away. So uncharacteristic from Rollins struggling in that clearing game. There's Douglas to McDonald. 2:27 to go in the first quarter. Here's Griffin Moore. Willis is going to come out and press out. They might be in a zone right now. Nope, they're going to step out. They're shutting off Griffin Moore again, face guarding him. Willis. They know that Flagler likes to initiate the offense with Griffin Moore. There's Douglas to Tobias. Trying to get over the top. Gets to the right hand, screen, shot over the goal. Nice little face dodge through traffic. Got the shot off, bounced it high. 29 seconds on the shot clock. Tobias over to Moore. Pretty sure they're in a zone right now. Yep. Calling for them to dodge the zone, and McDonald does. Oh, and he just missed. Slipped in that gap between the 2 zone defenders and just shot it high. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Jump shot wide. 3 seconds. Flagler will take this opportunity to get the defensive unit on with 1:17 going in the quarter. And they're going to throw it out of bounds and get the substitutes on. So nice defensive stand for Rollins. Flagler had a chance or two, couldn't hit the target. There's less time on the game clock than the shot clock, so the shot clock is, for all intents and purposes, irrelevant. And Rollins has been struggling on this clear, but they booted out of bounds. Another failed clear. Seen it a few times on that far side, right in front of this impressive crowd. Oh, and they throw it away. It's a 3-on-0. Now they're going to pull it back out. Johnstone. 40 seconds left. Approaching 30 seconds in the quarter. Metz comes on. Over to Mattson. Mattson. Joined by Brandt. There's a shot. Saved by Lair. Clutch save with 10 seconds to go. Just needs to send it. And he does send it, and it was on target, but it's picked off by the Rollins player. He's going to send it back after the horn. And what a quarter it was. Our score at the end of one quarter of play, Rollins 3, Flagler 3. Matrega and Baker back out there battling at the face-off spot to start the second quarter of play. Baker picks it up himself once again. He has been impressive. Hansen coming in out of the box this time. Joined by Matz and Matson. The local product, Sean Caracciolo, in from Ponte Vedra High School, just up the road in the county. Caracciolo pushing that left goal line. Flagler comes early, rolls back out of trouble. Well defended by Grusholt. There's Matz. Over to Matson. Throws back. Berkman operating out in front of the goal this time. There's a shot, and it's off the mark with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Matson rolls back to his left hand, back to his right now, and Lair makes the save, and it's a fast break. Ooh, they were offsides. They were way offsides. There it is. Late flag. It was accurate. Late but accurate. Coach Douglas spins back to his right hand. Very alert play by Kersey. He was running back to the midfield line when the pass was coming towards him. He heard his teammates implore him to turn around, and he got it before it went across the midfield line. So it's a free possession for Flagler with the delayed penalty call. Griffin Moore going to have a run at Metz. Douglas back to Tobias. Gets to the front and gets drilled as he leaps through the crease. Crease violation, so they'll stop play, and Flagler will have an opportunity to set up the man up after that offsides penalty. So a 30-second man up for Flagler College. Starting to the goalie's side right. Back up to Tobias. Over to Douglas. Reynolds. Douglas can't handle it. Not a lot of time on these 30-second penalties. Feed to the backside. Shot, score! Trace McDonald snuck it in to Luke Burton. Kind of caught the defense sleeping on that skip pass to the backside. Threaded the needle, and Burton was there, threw a nice fake. Wasn't impatient. Shot it around Kachadurian, and Flagler takes their first lead of the night on that man-up opportunity. So despite the discrepancy in faceoffs, Flagler has the lead. 5 out of 7 in the first quarter went to Rollins. Possession to Rollins, another faceoff win. Hansen, joined by Myers and Armitage. This is Myers. Little overcommit from the Flagler defense. He's got an angle, low angle shot that time. He ran out of space and shot it across the face of the goal. But there to back it up is White. White, a little bit high, but no call. Drags his stick, puts it on the ground. There's the flag. So an extra man opportunity for Flagler. The first check was good, and the second one got a little high. So referees are discussing it. They've got the opportunity to keep it at a minute for a slash. They could make it 2 minutes. They could make it full-time serve. So they do have some options depending on their interpretation of the intent, how high it was, how violent it was. Locked him in it. They're locking him in, so it is full time. See how many minutes it is. Okay, so it's only a 1 minute penalty, but it is a full serving penalty. So if Rollins were to score, the penalty does not release. Good timing for Rollins. Have been unable to generate any offense after that first onslaught. But a full serve, 1 minute penalty. Mattson over to White. And the ball is on the ground, and Lair comes up with it. So he's got some time to kill this penalty. 20 seconds to get it out of his own end. Oh, nice look. Oh, keeping it hot as McDonald clears it. Give a lot of credit to number 28 on that, Brendan Watson. Heads up. Tobias with the backdoor cut, but Douglas holds it. Flagler's content with running out this penalty in offense, and Rollins doesn't want to press the issue. So Garrett Moore comes out, races past his midi. Good recovery on the backside by Rollins as Moore drew two players. Back to Garrett Moore. Up to Trace McDonald. McDonald splits back, prefers that left hand. We'll see if he takes it down the right. Oh, nice look. Shot, score! Douglas and Trace McDonald with another amazing, accurate pass on the run, and McDonald with the catch and release in a fraction of a second. And Flagler takes a 2-goal lead. Just so confident, and we've got a timeout. Rollins is going to call a timeout, and that's an emotional sideline in their average Joe's yellow uniforms. We'll go ahead and take a break. So coming out of that Rollins timeout, following a couple of emotional goals for Flagler College, Matrega out there for the faceoff for Flagler. Lake Baker's been taking all the faceoffs for Rollins, has been very successful. Oh, Matrega tied him up this time. Yeah, it was stuck in his stick for a fraction of a second too long, so that's going to be Rollins' ball. pinched it on the back of his stick. You got to get it right out, and it just kind of stuck in there. Berkman dishes it off to Matz as the substitutes come through. That's Matson. Brandt shot it just wide. Berkman gets to the front. Shot saved by Lair. Jack Johnstone let it fly, and Lair made that one look easy. As I like to say, there's no such thing as an easy save, but stick side high is not too bad. Well-timed hit. See if they call the timeout. Thought they would have called it. They did. So that was number 28 that went up. That's Brendan Watson. He's shown up a couple of times. It was kind of a little bit of a buddy, who's your buddy pass, but he kept his focus. Ball hit the ground. McDonald came up with it, and the coaching staff called an alert timeout to keep possession. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. 8:40 remains in the first half. Flagler 5, Rollins 3. The Flagler timeout. They'll have possession, had a chance to settle down a little bit. Important possession with the 2-goal lead here midway through the second quarter. A lot of emotion on both sidelines right now, and I think a timeout, maintain the possession off that unsettled situation, and allow the Saints to get their bearings a little bit against this aggressive Rollins defense. McDonald. Cross to Moore. There's that throwback to McDonald. Runs through a check. Shot and a save. Kachadurian with a nice save. Kachadurian. The rush came to him. They've got 7 seconds to get it across. Good job by Rollins to get it across the midfield line, and they call a timeout to maintain that possession. The riding game of Flagler College is causing a lot of headaches for Rollins right now. That'll be Rollins' possession after this timeout. Just a possession timeout for Rollins, so aren't going to take too much time for the restart. As White gets to the middle, over the head check, and Flagler comes up with it's going to be interference. It's going to be a moving screen. So good swarming defense on that overhead check takeaway, but moving pick. Armitage trying to get to that alley. He gets there. Nice split back shot off the mark. Hansen had a good look at the cage and just kind of yanked it wide. Berkman pushing that left goal line. There's a feed to the crease behind the back shot and a score! Goal by Grant Hansen. Assist to Mikey Berkman. Beautiful shot. Way to look it in and finish that behind the head shot. So a little emotional momentum change there following that interference after Flagler came up with a pretty over-the-head check. So Matrega back out there against Baker. 5-4, Flagler on top. 7:22 to go in the half. And it's picked out of the sky. So Rollins back on offense. It's Metz. Joined by Hansen. And Matson comes across. There's Caracciolo. Down that right alley. Runs wide. Back to Berkman. Metz. Back to Berkman. Lyle's doing a nice job on defense. Through the screen. That's Hansen. Throws back to Matson. Trying to get over the top. Frees hands. Shot, score! From distance. Lair just kind of lost track of that one. He went down. Looked like he had it, but it stayed down low. Went 5-hole, and we're tied back up. This time it's Dowdy back for the face-off for Flagler. Baker doing all the heavy lifting for the Tars, doing a nice job of it as well. So if you're going to give up a shot on defense, it's that 15-yard sweeping shot. And right into the offensive end comes Baker. Fakes the point man, shot wide, and it's a possession to Rollins. Both teams substitute on that shot out of bounds. His John Stone gives it to Hansen. Across to White. Right, trying to get underneath. Sidearm shot over the cage. Berkman covered by Lyles. There's Myers. John Stone. Back to Myers. Puts a shoulder into him. And they throw it away. Rollins with the unforced error. Gruscholt's going to bring it in. Back to Lair. Got to attack that midfield line. Here comes the triple team. With holding. He put it on his chest. And there's a restart. Hansen. Called that withholding, trapping it against your chest. It was Flagler does not agree with it, that he did. Metz to Matson. Matson's got a head of steam running downhill. There's Hansen coming around that right side, behind the back pass, had a man in front. They've got Hansen scouted as a lefty, but he carried it around that right goal line, extended, and flipped it behind his back across the crease. There's a shot trying to catch Lair sleeping, but he's wide awake to collect that one. Starting to stack up the saves. Nice look upfield. Successful clear by Flagler with 4:34 to go in the first half. All tied at 5. Back to Douglas. Douglas has the short stick on the invert. Now they're going to shut off, and here comes Griffin Moore. Back to Tobias. Over to Griffin Moore. Ryan Berkman over to Tobias. Very deliberate offense right now for Flagler. 22 on the shot clock. Tobias breaks free. Penetrates, shot just off the mark. Boy, he got a good look at the cage. Dead center to the front. 17 seconds on the shot clock. There's Tobias. Tries to throw it back, and despite the hustle, it goes out of bounds. So both teams racing to get the substitutes on. Dom Traeger runs out at the LSM position, joined by Paxton Kroll with the short stick. Perfect pass on the far side. And here comes White. Trying to work through that screen. Sails it over. Identical to his last shot. Sweeping down that right alley. Taking it kind of wide. Three-quarter shot. Unable to get it on frame. But Rollins is there to back it up. 3 minutes to go in the half. Berkman powering to the front. The double team comes and he shoots it just outside of the near post. It's Johnstone. Back to Berkman. Spins back from his knees. Not much on that one as Lair forces that pass upfield. Traeger. Oh, wise decision. They still have 12 seconds to get it across, and he was getting pinned. Oh, nice look. So Flagler has the ball tied up with 2:22 to go. 5-5 is our score. So Garrett Moore, covered by the pole. Back over to D'Ambrosi. Dylan Wilson. Back to Moore. Tries to slide one to the backside. It's Berkman. Behind the back pass. Upfield. It's a 4-on-3 break. Oh, McDonald. Couldn't get the check down. You got the Rollins is keeping their foot on the gas. Now they're going to back it out. Boy, McDonald was so close. Now here comes Berkman. Left-handed shot off the mark. Can't sleep. Can't sleep on these guys. Looks like they're going to slow it down. And next thing you know, Berkman stomps on the accelerator. Got the left-handed shot off just wide. 1:30 to go. There's Johnstone. Up to Hansen. Across to Matson. Over to Metz. As soon as everyone starts yelling lefty, he puts it in his right hand. And they're giving him that right alley. Wouldn't take it. He's going to go around that right side. Bounces it back up top. That's Armitage. Hansen. Oh, Berkman's got space. Shot and a save by Lair. Boy, that was about 8 yards out on a down-low shot, and Lair met the ball right between his feet. They've got 10 seconds. And Douglas, not sure of the timeout situation if they have one left. They're going to keep the offense out there. Must be out of timeouts, or they like these matchups. And here comes Griffin Moore racing down the left alley. Throws back to Tobias. 16 seconds. McDonald splits back to his right. Left-handed shot. Score! Trace McDonald with 10 seconds left. Pivots back to that powerful left hand and slides it between the goalie and the post. And Flagler takes a 6-5 lead with just 10 seconds remaining in the half. Wow, impressive, clear, patient offense. And Trace McDonald just continues to impress. If he's not threading those accurate feeds in, he's taking care of the ball and finding the back of the net. 7 seconds. And Flagler pushes that one forward. See if they call that a push. So Flagler might get a chance here. There's 3 seconds left. This is actually a break for Flagler, balancing it up. Now McDonald can face the goal. Feeds it down low, and it's going to spin just wide. And we are at the end of the first half of play. Our score is the home team, the Flagler Saints, 6. The number 2, Rollins Tars, 5. Ready for second half action. The home team, Flagler, leads number 2 Rollins by a score of 6-5. Taking a gander at the stats here. The face-offs, 10-3 in favor of Rollins. 22 Rollins shots to 17 for Flagler. Saves, Lair with 8 saves. And the Rollins goalie, Kachadurian, with 3. So the face-offs and the goalies kind of cancel each other out a little bit in that advantage. We'll see if that holds for the second half. McDonald working that butt end, but successful clear as Rollins gets it back into the offensive end. White receives the ball. Armitage. Myers with the rollback and the throwback. Armitage across to White. He's trying to get underneath. The lift, the shot, and the save. Reset. Myers once again. Covered by Watson. Feeds it up top. There's Armitage over to White. Kersey putting the pressure on. Shot just off the mark. White's had a few opportunities, just unable to pull it down. He was under a lot of pressure that time. Here comes Johnstone. Back up top to Grant Hansen. He's got a little room. Hansen turns, shoots it wide. Oh, that was close. Berkman just got that first quick step. Now he's going to run with a head of steam on the shorty. This is a good matchup for Rollins. Trying to face him up. He's looking for that crease. Flagler had it covered. There's a little stick fake. Nice lift. White, 4 on the shot clock. Shot, score! As the shot clock was getting ready to expire, just an athletic move by White. So Justin White, with a head of steam, got inside of his man, got to the front of the cage, leapt and threw it behind Lair, and we are tied back up at 6. They used every last tick of that shot clock. Matrega and Baker. Big body check. Loose ball push. Looked like it was from the front, but they're going to award it to Flagler. Excuse me, they're going to award it to Rollins on that loose ball push. So Brandt's out there on the midfield line with Matson. And Metz. Back over to Brandt. Over to Metz. Back across to Matson, powering his way through. Looking for that skip pass across. Trying to get down that left alley. Powering in. Rolls back to his right. The double comes. And the ball is loose. Will it go out of bounds? Oh, nice little box out. And Flagler with a nice defensive play. You can hear Coach Duncan. He's got his scouting report dialed in. Overplaying to the strong hand. Forcing the Rollins player to roll back into that double team. Douglas races across the midfield line. Over to Griffin Moore. Tobias. Makuzis has been quiet. He's got a goal on the day. He's back out there. Ooh, low pass. McDonald's able to scoop it up under pressure. Douglas. Tobias drawing the defense out. Rolls back, throws it back to Makuzis. Makuzis handles it with his right hand. Skips it to Tobias. There's a shot. Ooh, it had some heat on it, just off the mark. 21 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time. There's Tobias. Backside, shot and a score. Luke Burton from Trace McDonald. I think they caught Rollins in the zone defense once again. And they recognized it early this time and called the zone buster play. And what a nice finish. Trace McDonald with those backside feeds. A lot of times when the shot clock's winding down and there's an inbounds play, the defense will come out in a zone defense just to try to shake up the offense a little bit. But if you recognize it, that's what happens. And so give credit to the staff and the Flagler players for recognizing that zone. Good stick handling as Flagler comes up with it. Ooh, risky pass. Look at Trace McDonald. Comes down with it. Now he races past his man. Good time to pump the brakes as Flagler has the 1-goal lead. Just a back and forth punch and counter punch type of game. Dylan Wilson's out there with Augie D'Ambrosi. Over to McDonald. Garrett Moore. Garrett Moore pushing it with his head up. 30 on the shot clock. There's a switch off. They like this shorty matchup. So McDonald's got the short stick. Feet to the crease. Forced it in there. The ball is loose. Trying to ride it back. Nice job. Nice stick handling out of the Rollins short stick defensive midi. Back to Kachadurian. 6 seconds to get it across. Long looping pass. Right on the money. Armitage. Over to Myers. Armitage trying to get underneath. Nice little shove to the chest. Berkman around. Didn't take, could have used one more step. Shoots it wide, but Rollins is there to back it up. There's Myers, gets underneath, off the side of the goal. There's a shot clock reset, hit the post. Berkman comes up. Lyles leans into him. There's a feed. Caught, shot saved by Lair. What a save. Armitage got that one off on the doorstep, and Lair read it perfectly. It's going to stay with the Tars. Myers. Looks like they're shutting off White right now. A little bit of face guarding, but he shakes his man free. Comes up with it. Paxton Kroll. Feed to the crease, shot and a score. Jack Johnstone from Berkman. In and out of the stick so quickly, and we are tied back up at 7. Berkman put that right on the money, and Johnstone just a little quick stick on the crease. By the time Lair was turning around, the ball was headed back by his ear. Lake Baker and Matt Matrega. Matrega, rare face-off win for the Saints. Oh, what a check by Lake Baker. Picks it right back up. And Berkman's all the way up to pick up that ground ball. The bench is going crazy for that Lake Baker takeaway check. Mets controls. He's got Johnstone to his left. Out of the box comes Sean Caracciolo. Low angle shot and a score. Rifled it. The right-handed shot from Metz, but beat Lair on the short side. And the Tars regain the lead. Lots of pace and lots of accuracy. What a lift they got from that takeaway check off the last faceoff as Matrega came up with it, but not giving up on the play. Lake Baker, that little one-handed wrap check. Matrega comes up with it again. This time he sprints out of trouble, works it back to Lair. Oh, it was a 10-man ride, open on the backside. Oh, they almost beat that 10-man ride as Griffin Moore threaded the pass across. It was a little high, allowing the defense to reset. So I'm not sure if I've seen the 10-man out of Rollins yet today, but the big man in goal, Kachadurian, was about 5 yards away. Did a nice job of getting back in to cover up. And here's Trace McDonald with the ball with 7 minutes to go in the third. Rollins on top, 8-7. And that one is thrown out of bounds. Kachadurian commanding the clear. Tessler across to Myers. Myers swims back to his left. Scouting report says right. Now they have a man out of the box. They got stuck on the substitution. Feed back inside. Ball is loose, and Flagler's there to pick it up. Good hustle by Watson. Tobias attacks that midfield line. Successful clear. Griffin Moore back to Logan Tobias. Tobias from outside the restraining line. The goalie bid on the fake. The goalie bid on the fake. He was tracking Griffin Moore, and Tobias sailed it right past him from outside of the restraining line. It is hard to track those. If you're on the man with the ball and they do a flip, you need to make sure you're screaming, "My man's got it." You're closer to it than the goalie is. I was watching closely from the 50-yard line here. I couldn't tell who had it. And neither could Kachadurian. So tied up at 8. That's a nice face-off win by Lake Baker. Nice job by Charlie Metz. Got a couple Metz brothers out here. I'm assuming they're brothers from the same hometown. Hansen. There's White. Little stick fake. Trying to get to the front. He does. Shot saved by Lair. What a save. Lair is feeling it. Long outlet pass on the money. What a pass that was. Into the offensive end come the Flagler Saints. There's McDonald. And it goes out of bounds. So what a waste. What a waste. Boy, McDonald doesn't drop those very often. There's a flag. So free possession, tied at 8 with 4 minutes to go in the third. Mattson, he's got a head of steam. Here's a jailbreak out of the midfield line. Oh, they had some space, but he decides to back it out. So it's a free possession on the delayed penalty. Grant Hansen. Nice lift. Feed to the backside crease. Backhanded shot and a score. Goal by Mikey Berkman on the backhanded shot. So I believe that penalty is going to be wiped out. It was a hold. So on that technical penalty, it'll be wiped out. Beautiful goal by Berkman. Caught it in just a backhanded shot with pace. Matriga and Baker. Coppin on the far wing for Rollins. Matrega comes up, wins it forward. Garrett Shaw controls for Flagler. They've got Douglas out of the box, joined by Tobias, awaiting Griffin Moore. Moore's got the shorty. Carries it behind. Back to McDonald. Up to Tobias. Tried to catch the goalie sleeping and hit him in the stomach. Kachadurian starting to stack up some saves. 6 seconds to get it across. Successful clear. Tars with the lead and the ball. 2:14 to go in quarter number 3. Well defended, but Mattson did a nice job hanging on. He's a big boy. Swallowed up that contact. Shot and a score. That time Berkman got the assist. The goal was scored by number 29. Excuse me, 49. Brandt with the goal. So Rollins has their first 2-goal lead since it was 2-0 in the first quarter to open the game. Berkman's heating up, both with his passing and his shooting. Oh, good hustle on the clear. Gordon Ogden, the Jacksonville University transfer, some athleticism, sprinting upfield. .122 in quarter number 3. Griffin Moore runs back to his left, rolls, shakes his defender, high bounce shot. And Kachadurian made easy work of that. Don't love that shot. Got the defense spinning. Oh, nice look. Myers. Under a minute to go. White with the ball. He's got Armitage to his left. Armitage has got time and space. Shot, score. 5-hole. Armitage was uncovered. Let it rip from about 13 yards, right between Lair's feet. And it's a 3-goal lead for Rollins. 40 seconds in quarter number 3 remain. I've heard the Flagler coaching staff a couple times match their intensity, and Rollins came out in the second half with a lot of intensity. There's been big hits, some great battles, and another face-off win for Matrega. So Flagler doing a little better job of earning those possessions at the face-off spot. That's Douglas to McDonald. Got Tobias and Griffin Moore on this midfield line. Oh, it's kept in play. Feed to the crease. Bounces through. Tobias lets it go. And just off the mark. And we are at the end of 3 quarters of play. Rollins got the better of that. And at the end of 3 quarters, our score, number 2, Rollins, leads 11-8 over the Flagler Saints. As both teams prepare for the 4th quarter of play, I'll give you a rundown on some of the stats. Rollins leads in shots, 35-24. Face-offs, 15 face-off wins for Rollins, 7 for Flagler. The Flagler goalie, Nate Lair, has 10 saves. Kachadurian has 5. Turnovers are pretty even. Clears are pretty even. Flagler's 2 of 2 on the extra man. Rollins is 1 of 2. Rollins winning the ground ball battle 26-19. You can follow me on Twitter. My name is Ray Carnicelli. Twitter handle, or X handle, @Lax904. Back out here for the 4th quarter face-off. Matt Matrega and Lake Baker. It's going to be a push. Ball will be awarded. Back to Flagler. There's Douglas. Moore to Tobias, over to McDonald. Little lackadaisical ball handling, but Flagler wins it back. McDonald probes over to Makusis. Back up to Griffin Moore. Lefty off the far post. Ooh, right over those spectators. That hit the side of the post, had beaten the goalie. Ricochets out of bounds, almost even with the goal. Trace McDonald will bring it in. Oh, McDonald gets out front. Up to Makusis. Shot, save. Those flat-footed shots. Kachadurian's just making easy work of them. Struggle a little bit if you get him sweeping, but when you're facing him, he's eating them up. Four seconds, and they get it across with time to spare. Mattson. Oh, risky pass, and Flagler comes up with it. Opportunistic in the clearing game as they ride it and they clear it. Here's an unsettled situation. Right into the goalie's stick. Wow. Aren't going to get a better look in front of the goal. Brendan Watson, nice move to get it to the front, but high to high on the doorstep. Here comes Caracciolo. Over to Metz. Metz pushes down the right alley. There's a shot. Lair makes the save. The ball is loose. Nice ground ball by Douglas. Oh, he's got help up front. Here's a 5-on-4 break. 5-on-4 break. McDonald back to Makusis. Across. Shot. Wide. Nice ball movement. Nice job by Douglas in the defensive end to push it upfield. So here come the Saints. D'Ambrosi to McDonald. Forces that switch. Shot. Pulls it wide. Luke Burton's there to back it up and bring it in. Burton pushing the left goal line. Roll back, throw back, and stuffed out. The check comes right down on top of his stick. Nice play by Kachadurian. Grant Hansen. 3-goal lead for Rollins. We'll see if they get any more deliberate on offense. Hansen marked by Grusholt. Logging some miles right now. Flips it up top to Myers. Here comes White. A little help from the pick. Back up top. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Hansen. Saved by Lair. Hits his man in stride. Good hustle by Myers. Prevent a fast break. So Trace McDonald's going to set up the offense. Nice work by the D-middies. McDonald joined by Tobias and Griffin Moore. So Griffin Moore got the shorty. Back to Tobias. There's Makusis to McDonald. Stick to the front. It's got Makusis in front. Shot, and he sails it high. Oh, he turned. Had a good look at the goal and just yanked it from sidearm over the goal. Had a couple good looks. Trailing by 3. Got to start hitting some of these. Got to get that first one. Back to Tobias. Moore to McDonald. Shot wide, and the shot clock is at 1. So they'll get the substitutes on in a defensive hold for the Tars. Set it back to 1. So they're going to set that shot clock back to 1, and Flagler will have the ball. Tossed it into the air before the whistle. So the defensive stand for Rollins earns them the ball back with 9:28 to go and a 3-goal lead. Onsides and across the midfield line, it's Metz. Successful clear. There's Armitage. Letting him run to his left. White with the ball. White spins back. Flips it to Hansen. Back to White. Feed to the crease, and Lair's there to pick it off as it sailed past the attackman. Nice work on the clear. Brendan Watson. Now you've got Tobias and Griffin Moore. Makusis. 8 minutes to go. Trace McDonald controls to the goalie's top center. Trying to get that pick from Moore. Now here's Tobias. There's Moore. Shot wide. About a 14-yarder, just off the mark. Garrett Shaw. Shaw rolls back to his left. Over to Tobias. Well defended. McDonald tries to feed down low. The ball scoots free. Makusis flips it to the middle. Shot and a score. Makusis to Shaw. Wow. Give a lot of credit to Makusis on that as he picked it up in traffic and just shoveled it over to Shaw. Tyler Douglas on the goal. So a little more energy out of that Flagler sideline. It's a 2-goal game with 7:29 to go. Matrega out there against number 1, Lake Baker. Flagler ball. A lot more success in the second half for the Flagler face-off men and predominantly Matt Matrega. Make it, take it as Augie D'Ambrosi and the second midfield line come out. D'Ambrosi to Garrett Moore. Garrett Moore with a high bounce shot and a score. Unassisted goal by Garrett Moore. Raced down that left alley. Nobody came once he got a half a step. hammered the high bounce shot, and it's a 1-goal game. 7:03 to go. Rollins 11, Flagler 10. Starts at the face-off spot. Matriga and Baker have been battling, with Baker in blue getting his fair share in the first half, but Matriga battling, and this time it's Baker once again. Takes a body. Ball is on the ground. It's not over and back if you still have time on the possession clock, and they did. Good stick handling. Evan Tessler, some nifty stick work in traffic. So Rollins trying to regroup here on offense. 6:31 to go. Jack Johnstone. Sean Caracciolo. Caracciolo down that right alley. Flips it back. That's Metz. Metz getting that left hand free. Shot just off the mark. He had some pace on it. Berkman's there to pick it up. Covered by Ethan Lyles. St. Augustine High School. Fights to the front. Dishes it off. Shot off the mark once again. That was Grant Hansen. Getting some looks. Metz. Paxton Kroll, the defensive midi. He gets to the front right-handed. Looking upfield. There's Matson. Matson shot and a score. Rings it off the far post. And Rollins regains the 2-goal lead. These two face-off men have been going toe-to-toe. Such a crucial part of the game. And that's going to be a violation against... The referees are pointing in... Okay, pointing the other way. There we go. So it looked like Matriga might have jumped. Boy, he timed that whistle pretty well, but referees didn't agree. Grant Hansen brings it on. 4 in blue. Over to Myers, joined by White. Getting down to crunch time, 5.5 minutes in quarter number 4. There's Armitage. Help comes early. Back to Berkman. Surveys the field. Pops it back up top. Myers. Over to White. White's got an angle, and he slips. And there looked like there was high contact. The player slipped. So a man-up opportunity. They're going to call a cross-check, 1-minute cross-check. So man up, 1 minute. 2-goal lead for Rollins. They have the ball. They have the extra man with 5:15 to go. To the goalie's side left is Justin White. White to Matson. Back to Matz. Over to White. Ball ends up on the ground. Picked up, shot, and a score. Jack Johnstone. Ball ended up in the ground, and Johnstone was there to pick it up and send it back. So that penalty will release. It's back to a 3-goal lead. The largest margin has been 3. It was 3-0 Rollins to open the game. Worked it back up to 3 with 4:47 to go. Matriga picks it up with a head of steam. Off the mark. They ran that break to perfection. Matrega was able to hit the point man even with a stick landing, but Luke Burton powered that shot wide. McDonald doing some face guarding on the midfielders, but Griffin Moore is able to control. Tobias swims back. Over to Douglas. Douglas shoots it wide. 38 seconds on the shot clock. Burton to Moore. Back to Tobias. Shot off the goalie, straight up into the air. Still a shot. Who's going to get it? It was a race to the end line. Kachadurian's there. Under 3.5 minutes to go. And it's a takeaway. Here's Douglas. It's getting a little helter-skelter out here right now as Tobias. Oh, a little back cut. Timeout for Flagler. I think that's a good idea because it was getting a little wild and hairy out there and not a lot of time left. Got to make the most of this possession. We're going to take a break with 3:06 remaining in regulation. The score is Rollins 13, Flagler 10. Flagler spotted Rollins a 3-goal head start to start the game and eventually took a 2-goal lead, but Rollins has battled back and extended their lead back to 3 with 3:03 to go. Logan Tobias controls. Covered by Charlie Metz. Back to Garrett Shaw. McDonald. Kachadorian controls. Outlet pass across to midfield. Here comes the double team. Matson's there. So now we're going to most likely see Rollins just try to take the air out of the ball. They've got this 3-goal lead. Use as much of that shot clock as they can. It's going to force Flagler to start chasing and pressing out a little bit, which makes them more vulnerable. So it's a little cat and mouse game right now. Rollins is going to play keep away. 36 seconds on the shot clock, 1:43 on the game clock. Oh, and a takeaway check. What a check that was.
97. It's up by 24.
Long pass in stride. They've got numbers. Shot and a save. Brandon Gruschel took that left-handed shot. So now Flagler double teaming with the goalie out. Myers, under a minute to go. Empty net, shot and a score. Myers with the goal. (14-10) on that empty net goal. Matriga and Baker. Baker with the face-off win. So now it's just a matter of trying to run out the clock. Throws it to safety across the wide side. Into the offensive end. 33 seconds. Flagler battling. Got some trailing help. D'Ambrosi. 17 seconds to go. D'Ambrosi comes up with it again. Feeds to the crease. Garrett Shaw tried the behind-the-head shot, and it's going to be a loose ball push against Rollins. So Flagler will get one last look at the goal. Hits the crossbar, and it goes up and out of bounds. 7 seconds to go. And that is the end of the game, and it's a victory for Rollins, a hard-fought victory. The number 2 Rollins Tars survive the Flagler Saints. Our final score from St. Augustine, Florida is Rollins 14, Flagler 10. I'm Ray Carnicelli, Lax 904 on X. Have a good night.